All right, let's talk about something that sits right at the heart of so many care professions, especially for doulas. We're going to dive into what I call the doula's financial paradox. That constant conflict between this profound calling to support families and the often really tough financial reality of the work. We're going to unpack that tension together.
I mean, this question, it just hits you, right? It really gets to the core of what so many people in birth work are feeling. It's powerful, and sadly, it's a super common sentiment. This is the central problem we're going to explore.
So let's start by really breaking down this paradox. It's this classic story of heart versus hardship. The emotional rewards of the job, they're incredibly high, but the economic strain, well, that can be just as intense, if not more so. This chart just lays it out so perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you have the why, the calling that's fueled by empathy, purpose, and this deep desire to serve. But then you look at the other side, and the reality for so many is underpayment, exhaustion, and straight-up burnout. The real challenge is bridging that massive gap between the two. And this isn't just a personal problem. It creates this really dangerous cycle. When you undercharge, you feel like you have to take on more and more clients just to pay the bills. And what does that lead to? Exhaustion. And that exhaustion directly compromises the quality of care you're so passionate about giving. It's a feedback loop that, honestly, serves no one.
So, how in the world do we break out of this cycle? Well, it all starts with a really critical mindset shift. It means moving from seeing this work as only a passion to really building it as a sustainable profession. And that shift, it all starts with how you think about money.
And here's the question that trips up so many amazing people in these service-based fields. There's this genuine feeling of guilt, right? This idea that charging for something so personal, so sacred, somehow taints it or cheapens it. But what if we've been looking at this completely backwards?
Here it is. This is the powerful reframe we all need. Charging a fair price isn't about greed, it's about sustainability. It's the one thing that gives you the resources, the time, the energy, the financial stability to keep doing the work you love without completely burning out.
And this is what financial freedom really means in this work. It's not about becoming a millionaire. It's about having the stability to serve from a place of abundance, where you have enough energy, enough resources, enough of you to give, instead of serving from a place of scarcity, where you're constantly worried about how you're going to make rent. And look, the ripple effects of undercharging are huge, and they go way beyond your own bank account. It actually devalues the entire profession. It leaves zero room for your own professional development. And ultimately, it compromises the high-quality, compassionate care that families absolutely deserve.
Okay, so let's shift gears from the why to the how. If you're going to charge what you're worth, you first have to know what your costs actually are. This is all about moving away from just guessing and moving towards a real data-driven formula.
One of the biggest mistakes you can make is pricing based on what feels right, or even just copying what the doula down the street is charging. That is a recipe for failure because it doesn't take into account your unique expenses, your time, and your family's financial needs. A huge piece of this calculation is factoring in all of those invisible hours. It's not just the time you spend at a birth. It's the weeks you're on call. It's the endless texts and emails, the travel back and forth, the initial consults. All of that time is part of your service, and it has value. So to really get your number, you've got to account for both direct and indirect costs. Direct costs are the obvious ones, right? Like your training and your insurance. But the indirect costs, your website, your gas money, even childcare for when you're at a really long birth, those are just as real and just as essential. A sustainable price has to cover everything.
Okay, so once you know your numbers, you can finally start to craft offers that truly reflect your value. This next part is all about turning those numbers into smart, confident pricing and packages for your clients.
Here's a super clear 4-step roadmap to get you there. You start by understanding your local market and finding your unique niche. From there, you build out different packages, and then you figure out how to offer accessibility without completely devaluing all your hard work. Tiered packages like this can be a total game changer. So, for example, a basic package might cover the essentials. A premium package could add on super valuable services like childbirth education. And a VIP package, that could be your all-in, high-touch support. This gives clients choices and lets you serve different needs at different price points. So how do you balance that deep desire to serve with the need for sustainability?
You can absolutely serve lower-income families. The key is to do it intentionally. You can offer a limited number of sliding scale spots, or maybe flexible payment plans. That way, your generosity doesn't accidentally lead to your own financial instability.
So you've set your prices. You're feeling confident. What's next? Well, now we talk about the long game, building a practice that doesn't just survive month to month, but one that truly thrives for years and years to come. A fantastic way to boost your value is to think outside the standard service box. Bundling in your own childbirth education is a great start. But what if you partnered with other local professionals? Imagine offering a package that includes a session with a prenatal massage therapist or a newborn photographer. Now that is an irresistible offer. Now, this might be the least glamorous part of the job, but trust me, it is non-negotiable. A professional business needs professional habits. You have to set up simple, consistent systems for sending invoices, tracking your expenses, and collecting payments. It will save you so much stress and make sure you actually get paid for your work. And finally, think about diversifying your income. Relying only on being on call 24/7 is a fast track to burnout. Your skills are so valuable in other ways. You could lead workshops, offer coaching to new parents, mentor new doulas. These are all amazing ways to create more stable, predictable income streams. And this brings us right back to where we started. Being financially healthy isn't selfish. It's the foundation that allows you to be the best possible doula you can be. When you aren't stressed about money, you can be fully present, you can be energetic, and you can be clear-minded for every single family you serve. So let's end with this thought. Shifting your mindset from scarcity to abundance isn't just a financial strategy. It's a professional and a personal transformation. Just take a second and imagine what becomes possible for you and for the families you support when you are truly able to serve from that place.